Hello and welcome to Rich King Coaching YouTube channel. Today's topic is going to be about effect. Now obviously that word can be used in many different ways, but today what I'm going to be discussing about and giving you all the chance to kind of think about, practice and develop your own kind of feeling over how you can affect the ball and in what different ways that can be useful and successful. Now the starting basis that I want everybody to be considering is actually your grip tension. So we're going to start by learning that different tensions through the fingertips, different pressures onto the racket and the grip can create different effects over your swing and the ball. Okay, now in general you do not want to grip the racket hard. Okay, that's not something you want to do because it becomes very restrictive and it kind of breaks the chain of movement and the flow through the body that you want to get, especially if you want rhythm and good feeling and balance through the body as you're playing the game, okay? But now I'm going to discuss a little bit about how different types of pressure and squeezing of the fingertips on the racket can create different swing shapes and sizes and affect different shots in different ways. What we're going to look at is just on my forehand side to start with. Now, imagine if I'm playing a ball into the front corner here. So I'm going to use a drop shot to start with, okay? Now, there's some different moments where you can really have pressure through the racket in your swing shape. So at the beginning, I might have a little bit of pressure as I'm pulling my racket back because there has to be a bit of connection, a little bit of muscle tone here to actually do that movement from my hand and my wrist. So that pulls my racket back. Then as my racket's at the top of its swing here, it's very light and relaxed, okay? So what the first thing I'm going to do is what some people sometimes call stun. But as I'm coming through with a light grip and a kind of relatively quick swing because my body's nice and relaxed, I'm then going to put a bit of pressure into my fingertips on striking of the ball and almost kind of break the racket. I still follow through, but by squeezing here, I put the handbrakes on. So that's what we're aiming for here. You can see that my racket face is nice and open, so I'm going to use this spin to help. So as I feed the ball up here, nice and easy, see how you hear that cutting sound. So as I'm coming through, I'm going very fast, and then I squeeze and I stop the racket. And I can actually create this shorter follow through and bite on the ball, which makes this kind of stunny aggressive drop shot, okay? Now it might not always go so short. So there's a little bit further back, but it's going in very quickly. So my opponent has to react very quickly. That's a good one there. Last one, light and easy. And then just taking the pressure into the hand just as I'm about to hit the ball and put the brakes on. Now I can also do it the opposite way around where I harder at the beginning, and then I'm softening at the end and getting this nice soft drop shot. Okay? You can see it's a bit softer in the hand, aggressive here, soft at the end. Now this could be great if you're very close to the wall and you can play the ball in with a little touch and leave it very short. But it's also going to be useful when you have more time or height on the ball. You know, if an opponent hits it really hard, and then I have to soften my hands like that, it might cause me to make a bit of a mistake. So I have to think about what moment do I have time to play the ball in nice and easy and with that softness in the hand and grip. You see the swing is a little bit longer now, okay? Now if I try one more here. Okay, so pressure on the backswing, soften off through the ball, okay? A little bit of a mistake there. Let's try one more time. Okay, so there on the drop shot, you've got these different kind of moments. So you've got this preparation where you might want a little bit of pressure, or you can literally just float the racket up if you have enough time. And maybe a lot of pressure here at the beginning for the intention, and then softening up at the end when you hit the ball, or the opposite way around where the racket's really light here, and you're putting on tension at this moment when you're striking the ball. Okay, so let's have a look at the same thing now with a kill shot. Okay, I'm just going to pick up the ball. So mid-court here, feeding up nice and high, first of all with a little bit of that stun, a little bit of pressure through the racket face. See how it's really aggressive, it's really threatening to my opponent. but I'm also shortening the follow through so I can sort of stab it in, punch it in there. But there's a little bit of a squeeze. That one was a bit loose. That's a good line. Now let's see the difference when I kind of go for more of a full swing. I have it a lot easier in the hand. So it's coming through quicker in some ways, but it's also a much bigger swing. And you see the bounce is going a little bit further back just because of the nature of the swing. But there's nothing wrong with either of these two shots. You're just playing them in very different ways and creating different effects. Here's the stun. Okay, that one was a little bit bad. Let's try again. Hear the cuts there. And now hitting through and freely. And there's that line. Same things for the drive. Okay? This one with the stun, really aggressive, really getting a lot of backspin in that ball. Very attacking length. Second bounce dying in the back wall there. One more time. Aggressive preparation, big squeeze on the moment of hitting the ball. Shortening the follow through, creating this lovely stun and backwards revolution on the ball, keeping it there. Now with more of a freely looser hit ball, same outcome. A little bit more pace on it, a little bit more relaxed and easy. Hit the side ball there, that was very loose, so let's try and keep it straighter. Another thing which can happen if the grip tension is too loose, okay, so you have to make sure you're steering the ball. And here's that stun again. And then getting the ball into the back of the court. Okay, now this is experimental for everybody. You have to get your feeling and sensitivity right in the tension of the grip. Never hold it like a club, grip it really hard, but be aware of what parts of the backswing, the downswing, the contact of the ball and the follow through, and where the different pressure points can create different effects on the ball and therefore more skill and more challenges to your opponent. Okay, love to hear what you think. Play around with it a little bit. There's loads more you can do with the grip tension and the effects that you can create with grip tension and the racket face. All right, good luck everybody, and love to hear your comments. Thanks very much. See you soon.